shift in business practices. This Sunday morning, we are having our speaker, Mr. Sameer Shukla. Mr. Sameer is an executive director with Nielsen Global Connect and is the retail intelligence leader for South Asia. In his career spanning more than 2 decades at Nielsen, he has managed the retail measurement services for South Asia, headed Nielsen business in Nepal, and managed Nielsen JV with GFK in India. He has worked on policy and strategy formulations for various government bodies, international NGOs, and UN organizations. Clients from FMCG, consumer durables, BFSI, and social organizations have sought his expertise in shaping their strategies. He is a management postgraduate from IIFM, has done a PG program in artificial intelligence from the University of Texas in Austin, and is an executive black belt in BPI. His topic for today is retail research, and we hope a very nice and interactive session with him today. We welcome you, sir, and the platform is all yours.
Good morning, Sameer Shukla ji. Welcome on behalf of MIT. I am Dr. Devendra Arora. Very good morning, Sameer Shukla ji. Grand welcome. Grand welcome.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for the introduction. I hope my voice is clear. Am I audible properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And I can see we are about maybe 24 of us on the call. So, and we can expect maybe a few more participants, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There will be many more.
Yeah, let's start. So, is it okay if I put my camera on, or should I go and check the video and then we have
So it is purely your choice. It is purely your choice.
Okay, I'm good. I'm good for either way.
I wish your camera should be on.
Okay.
We listen you with your smile.
Really? Okay, yeah. And see, all of us are missing that physical proximity where, say, we used to work together in a physical, facility, infrastructure, and the chemistry inside a room or maybe a hall is very different from a virtual session. But I'm sure, I mean, by now, it has been a couple of quarters already. We all are quite used to these digital and virtual sessions. And in a way, I mean, if you see, if this pandemic had hit us maybe a couple of years back, it would have been a very, very different situation. Because last few years, the digital infrastructure in our country has really galloped. And almost everybody has got access to it thanks to some of the telecom initiatives, both from the government and the private side. So yeah, so with that, and thank you so much again for being, say, a participant in this session. I know some of you are already, say, into your, say, career for the last couple of years. A few of you may be freshers and going and starting your new innings. So I will try to make the session as interesting as and as interactive as possible. But again, I need the partnership from your side. So, and I was telling maybe a while back when only a couple of participants had joined that you have been in these sessions for the last 5 or 6 days, including Saturday and today Sunday, probably the last day of this session. So I can understand the student and the grasping power in us also have got limitation, and you would have been bombarded with different types of information, and spheres of experts would have come and talked to you. So keeping that in view, I'll try to make it light, but please stop me wherever you feel that I'm going too fast or too slow, or if you want me to maybe take up something, say, more in detail. Because it's a very vast field. Marketing research and retail intelligence is a super vast field. And I may be touching on a couple of, say, topics, maybe about a dozen odd topics. And each of these topics can be dealt over maybe a couple of days. So, of course, the purpose here is to acquaint all of you to what are the various things happening in the market, and more towards the business application side of it. Because that's something which is going to be important. So you all are from the field of academics. So theory is important, but very, very important. And gradually, as we move forward in our say life journey and career, you'll find that the business application will have say more and more prominence, because now data information is gradually moving towards being a commodity. The importance of insights and data and consulting will not go down. It will only go up. But yeah, the facets will change drastically. We are seeing that. And I have been practicing marketing research for the last over 2 decades. And I'll just take 2 minutes to just give you a quick snapshot over what was introduced. I mean, as a speaker when the introduction happened. I would not like to spend too much time on that, but if you see the agenda here, so while we have about 5 odd hours, including some time for the lunch break. But I'll totally go with your say pace and your expectation. If you want to curtail the session to 3 hours, 4 hours, lesser, entirely up to you. And depending on the questions, we can always say spend more time on one topic versus another. So I'll just take 2 more minutes on adding a couple of lines about myself, because that's going to be important. And then you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. Your screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. So that's the agenda that we would be working on, and you can see some time frame also that I had chalked out. So it's going to be a pretty packed session from that point of view. But again, like I said, I mean, depending on the pace that you want, fast or slow, we can always go accordingly, and maybe focus on a specific topic versus another. So let me just build on the agenda here. So what we'll do is I'll start with giving you, say, maybe a glimpse of what is the relevance of marketing research. And the best way to do that is to take it through the different life stages of any product or any service. And we'll see as to what are those life stages for any service or product, and how can marketing research be used at each of those, say, life stages or lifetimes, right? Now, once that is done, and I was told that I should focus more on the retail intelligence part in this session. So that's where you'll see the number 3, number 4, and number 5 coming in. So we will talk about one of the facets which is extremely important and very relevant for many decades. At Nielsen, we have been practicing it for almost a century now. And incidentally, Nielsen, the organization that I am representing, we would be celebrating our centenary year in 2023. So 2 years down the line, we would be completing our 100 years globally. Sales effectiveness is something which we started way back, maybe 8 or 9, say, decades back in the US. And even in India, our legacy on this practice is close to 6 decades. So pretty old and evolved kind of science on this part of marketing research. So we'll spend some time on that. We'll build further on the business metrics, which some of you may be familiar with if you have worked with, say, an FMCG or a consumer durables, or maybe some of the other, say, industries, either while as a student, or you may have been exposed to some of these. We'll spend some time on the RMS metrics and how are they important and relevant for various business usage. And then we'll break for lunch. Again, I mean, these are all flexible timings. We can always see as to how fast or slow are we moving. And then finally, we can do a case study. I've tried to make it interesting for this session, not very heavy, but to understand, to make you, say, understand various facets of RMS that you can see here, which is the retail measurement services. So that's what will be, say, a 60-minute odd. And towards the end, depending on the time that we have in hand and the kind of fatigue that builds in or freshness that comes in, we can talk about latest trends in marketing research. So that's something which is there. You can see that I have, say, calibered 10 to 15 minutes break between two sections. But depending on how much interest that you have, if you have any question, you can use the chat window, or you can say unmute yourself and ask. It's perfectly fine. I won't feel disturbed on the flow, and that's how we wanted to make it more interactive. So is that okay? Is it say going by your expectation, or you want to have any quick feedback on the agenda?
That should be okay, sir.
Okay, perfect. So as I was saying, yeah, somebody had a point. Okay, cool. So on the introduction, the only bit I wanted to add about Nielsen as a company and my life journey at Nielsen. So like I said, we are a, say, 98-year-old or young baby, you can say, as a company. We are the biggest market research company in the world, and very proud to be a part of this company for the last 22 years. So I started in 1998 when this company was actually known as ORG Marg. Some of you may have heard this name or familiar with it. So ORG is actually, ORG was a company founded by the famous space scientist, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, in the early 60s. So, and then as after the demise of Dr. Sarabhai, it changed hands. And around 2000, 2001 is when Nielsen and ORG Marg came under the same umbrella. And that's when we rebranded ourselves as Nielsen. And now it's a part of a global, say, organization. So in those 20 odd years, 22 years actually to be precise, it may sound like a long time. And in the current corporate world, people do not stick to a company for long. And that's a general trend that we are seeing. But we are very proud that at Nielsen, there are many people, many associates who have finished more than a decade, 2 decades. Some of them have done 3 decades plus. So they join the company and then retire. So that's a very, very proud feeling for all of us. The other thing which is important here is what keeps us moving is, so, and when I go to the business school campuses for, say, recruitment and all, this is a punchline we use is as a professional, one can work in any field, any sector, any company, any initiative or product or service, and be happy with it. The benefit we have at Nielsen, if somebody works at Nielsen, at any given point in time, one can work on different sectors and interact with different levels and different projects. And over a period of 1 year, if you take that as a benchmark, one can work with multiple agencies, multiple companies, multiple sectors, and different type of projects. That's a fun. So the punchline is you can work for company X by joining that company, or you can work with X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D companies while working with Nielsen. So that's something which I feel resonates very well with the students. And just to give you say my personal experience there is in the last 22 odd years with the company. The profile that I'm doing right now is my 9th work profile, and Mumbai, where I'm currently based out of, excuse me, Mumbai happens to be my 7th work location. So you can say make a rough math that every 2.5 years, either I raise my hand to do something different, a new profile, or the company pushes me to do something new, and that's where the learning curve is steep. So that's largely what I wanted to cover in introduction. I'll pause. Anything that you wanted to know or share from your side is what we'll go with. Anything to share from your side? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. I'll assume that everything is fine, and then we can go to the next section. Just one thing for the coordinators. I was asked to asked about MCQ, a quiz, which you can see towards the bottom right in that blue oval. So I'm not sure whether a quiz is going to be a part of this session only, or you want to conduct this quiz after this session. Anybody from the coordinator side?
Sir, this will not be a part of the session actually, the MCQs that were asked for.
Okay.
So we'll be requiring it after the session.
Okay, no problem. So those who are attending the session will be having a privilege, because most of the answers will be lying in the session. Those who are not, or who have not been able to join the session for whatever reason, maybe, I mean, you have to figure out as to how do you want to conduct that quiz and get the feedback. So, but that's fine. I mean, let's go with that. So the second section, which is marketing research at different life stages of a product or a service. You can see that there are about 45 odd minutes, but I have only one slide, right? So you may find that the slide is a bit cluttered, but please bear with me. And I assure you that there won't be the second slide for this section. So one slide will cover almost everything. And the subsequent section will be having a couple of more slides. But yeah, I think overall, I won't bore you with more than 20, 25 odd slides. So that's what I would like to do. I would encourage you to ask questions, stop me, ask for clarifications if need be. Don't feel hesitant. I am very proud and privileged that I have been working in this sector for more than 2 decades. So I can try and answer to any and every question that you have. And even if we are not able to cover anything, or I'm not able to answer something, I will share my contact details with you. You can always reach out to me and send your questions or any observations later on. But one very hearty request. Let's try and make it more interactive, because that's where the fun comes in. If you feel that there's anything which is not clear, or I need to ponder more on a specific topic, please raise hand or ask question. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or use the chat window. Is that good? Are you game? No reaction.
So we are all ears.
Okay. Very good. So I like that spirit. So starting with the marketing research at different life stages of a product or a service, right? And please pardon me, we are all working from home. So there may be some background noise. You could hear some Aarti and the bell. But please pardon me. In case if my voice is not clear, or there's a lot of background, I'll go and try and slow that down. But starting with this. So when you talk about any product or any service, so a product could be maybe a pencil cell battery, right? Or it could be maybe packaged drinking water, or it could be packaged atta. I mean, nowadays a lot of atta is being packed and sold. Most of us would be staying in small and big towns, and maybe a few decades back there was hardly any packaged atta in the market, but now you find multiple brands, dozens of them, right? Or a service. It could be a financial service, it could be a travel service, it could be insurance. Any service that one provides, right, would have different stages in its life stage, right? And these stages will have different marketing research needs, right? So for the sake of maybe simplicity, I'm breaking it down into 4 parts, 4 life stages of any product or a service, right? The first one is consumerization. So think of if you were entrusted with the responsibility to go into a market, say in say Philippines, or say in a specific state in India, and launch a product or a service which was not there in that market? Possible, right? Or that product or service is available, but you want to launch it as a competitor or as a challenger to whatever, say, offerings which are available in the market, right? Either ways, the first stage of a product or a service life cycle would be where you would like to know as to what is your segmentation, what is your target group, where do you want and go and launch or target your product or service to, right? And we'll discuss slightly more in detail as to what all things will come. But that's the first thing you'll do. That this is geography, these are the channels that I'll use for reaching out, whether it is B2B, business to business, or B2C, business to consumer. These are the various trade structures that I'll follow, navigate, and go, right? So you'll decide on the geography, target group, segments, need scope, and so on and so forth, right? So that's the first thing that you'll do. Whether it is a product or a service which was not available in that market, or even if it was as a category, you want to go and say launch a new product from your side. So you have to go and do a lot of, say, insights in the consumerization space, right? Now, once you have done that, then you will build your concept, or you will build a prototype, or you will build that product in whichever form it is, and you would like to know whether your product or service is differentiated enough to find a good market in wherever you are targeting it, among whatever target group that you have in mind. So concept, prototype, sampling, all those things. And this is before the commercial launch, because unless you know as to what is the kind of concept or product stage gates that your product has to cross eventually, and what would happen at different stages, you may end up spending a lot of money investing in factory or production or XYZ and taking it to the market, and your innovation may fail. So there are various stage gates of innovation, and at each stage gate, one would need to be very, very sure as to what is the confidence I have, and then accordingly you will invest, make plans, and go and serve the market. So that's the innovation stage, right? Now, once the innovation stage is done, you would also like to know that if I have this kind of service or product, this kind of marketing and sales plan, this is the kind of target market that I'm going and aiming at. Over a period of next 3 months or 6 months, what is the kind of money I'll make? What is the kind of revenue that this product or service will generate? And that is where the simulated test marketing comes in. Without even going into the field with the actual offering on a commercial basis, you can do a simulated test marketing and estimate as to this product or service, this marketing plan, this kind of investment, 3 months or 6 months, this is the kind of volume or revenue it will generate. That's a part of innovation, and that will give you confidence that, yeah, this is right product or service to take. Or in those stages, you can also try and do corrections. So at each stage, and there will be various factors of success. And these factors of success are based on historical benchmarks and norms. In this kind of market, in this kind of target group, in this kind of product or service, using various benchmarks, the simulated test marketers can bring out this is the kind of revenue you will generate. And the beauty is, once you do this, the launch will happen, and 6 months down the line, you can compare also. Okay, fine, this was what was projected, this is what we actually did. So why I'm bringing these aspects of research is, it brings a lot of accountability on our shoulders. Because whatever we do would not only help making more confident decisions on investments and various initiatives and experimentation, but also It could be making or marring big fortunes for the proprietors, the corporations, and individuals, right? So moving on the life stages. So once you have a fair idea about the consumerization, you have done various, say, stage gates of innovation, and then your launch is almost ready, right? And then you go and launch. Once you launch your product or service in the market, then you start making various initiatives around marketing and sales, right? Now, for marketing, what will you do? You will start communication. You will have, say, TV communication, digital mediums, and so on and so forth, where you would like to reach your target group and communicate the kind of differentiating platform that you have created, which declutters and makes you a winner or makes that appeal, right? So any product or service may have various marketing initiatives, and that's one of the marketer's dilemma. Any marketer that you go and ask, suppose if you're doing, say, 10 different initiatives at a given point in time on marketing side, out of those 10 marketing initiatives, everybody will say that, yeah, I know that 5 of them are really firing, they're doing very well. At the same time, I also know that the other 5 are not doing so well in terms of ROI or whatever way you want to evaluate that. But the challenge is, what are those 5 which are firing and which one are those other which are not firing? That's not known, right? Because each of these factors in language of statistics are independent variables, right? Each of these independent variables are going towards that desired objective. And then you've got a dependent variable, which is the final outcome. It could be sales, it could be revenue, it could be profits, it could be market share, whatever. Now, you know what is happening there, and there are various tools to measure that. But you don't know as to which of these 5 are actually contributing positively and the other 5 which are not giving me adequate ROI. And that's where the marketing effectiveness comes in place. And there's various tools, marketing research and insights that can be brought up, which will help you at this stage to measure on the marketing effectiveness. Am I going okay in terms of pace? Is it clear, getting clear, or any feedback?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Thank you. So consumerization, innovation, marketing effectiveness. At the same time, there would be various sales initiatives which should be put in, and also sales effectiveness, which is the 4th and probably one of the most important ones, because this will also give you the final outcome. The final, or you can say the dependent variable will be measured from there. Now you may argue or ask this question that, see, I mean, whatever I'm selling, I know it. What's the big deal? But the point here is, if I bring an example, suppose if you are the marketing manager or say marketing head of say a company called Diageo. Diageo is a company which has recently acquired the Vijay Mallya company, which is United Spirits, right? United Spirits Limited has now been acquired by Diageo, which is a global alcoholic drinks manufacturer. Now, if you are the marketing head of that company and you have set up a target for yourself that, fine, this year in 2020, I did 100, say, units of sale in a given market, in a specific market. And that market you can decide. It can be a state, it can be a city, it can be, say, a channel within a city or whatever. And a channel could be a modern trade, could be a traditional trade, it could be a liquor shop, it could be an on-shop premises, a bar, or whatever, right? So you can say that, okay, fine, in 2020, I have done 100 units. In 2021, I would try and do 110. A point? You can do that, you can do that targeting. At the end of 2021, suppose you find that you did 111. You'll be happy because you planned for 110 and you did 111. But if market insight tells you that the industry, the liquor industry, the IMFL, which is the term used by the industry, the indigenously made foreign liquor, IMFL industry, in 2021 had a growth of 20% as compared to 2020. Now, while the first information that you did 111 instead of a target of 110, you would be feeling very happy about it. But the moment you know that actually the industry has done a 20% growth, you will not feel so happy about it, right? I know, I mean, in technology, you'll use mute or unmute and then say, so there could be some pause, but feel free to ask or challenge me or ask me to elaborate more on. I'm say reiterating this point because I can see that this group is now a good strength. Now we are about 30 of us. So please ask and stop if you have any question or any observation to share, right? So sales effectiveness will give you insights regarding what are the various sales initiatives and what is the final outcome of all those things that you have done till now in a relative manner. And this is the chunk which I'll be spending more time on in the subsequent section. So I'll not go more in detail. So that these are the 4 life stages, and in each of the life stages, one would have to take what is happening on the ground, get insights from the marketing research side, and frame your tactics and strategy and go and win in the market. So that's where it happens. Now, what I told you is, in a way, the life stages are the various stages of evolution of any product or service, right? Now, that way you can see it. And that's where the evolution comes in, right? But at the same time, once your product is in the market, you will keep on experimenting or putting new initiatives around marketing, around sales effectiveness. You would also keep on doing new launches in your portfolio. You will be restaging your products. You will be having line extensions and brand extensions. And you would also like to keep on checking as to how is your consumer responding to various initiatives and keep on realignments. So these 4 stages that I said are not only important from the, just give me a second. Papa, isko off nahi karna hai. Papa, isko on kar dijiye. Thank you. So, so from the evolution point of view, we could see it in this funnel, but also from the realignment standpoint, each of these life stages are important because one would not be dealing with a static business. The business will be dynamic and one would keep on doing various initiatives at different points in time. And these 4 areas will be important to make you take more informed and controlled decisions, right? I'll pause again. Any observation from your side? Anything that was not clear? If you don't want to unmute yourself, you can ask, you can use the chat window.
So realignments and evolution has to happen throughout the course of assessing the sales effectiveness, or realignment stop up to the stage of innovation and evolution happens later on. Is it like that, sir?
Yeah. So like you said, so evolution anyway are the different life stages, and that's how I explained one after another. If you were launching a new product or a new service, right? And that's how you evolve. But like you said, even once you have launched the product or service, you will not be having a static business. Maybe after 1 year of you starting the business in a market, a new market, you would like to launch another product. You would like to go for a line extension or a brand extension. And whenever you do that, or you would go to a new geography or a new channel, in any of those situations, you would need marketing effectiveness and sales effectiveness, because each of them will be relevant for that chunk that you are, say, putting as an initiative. So that is where the realignment part comes in. And evolution, like I said, anyway, if you're launching something new, you will evolve through those life stages. Does it make sense?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, yeah. Go ahead. Was there a question? Okay, no problem. So now what I'll do is I'll just take each of these 4 stages one after another and give you some specific types of research and try and give you the business usage perspective of each, right? So let's start with consumerization. Okay. So like I said, if you are launching a new product, you would be interested in knowing as to which geography should I go. If you have to launch maybe a glucose water tomorrow in the market, or you want to launch and a new, say, insurance product. Now, whether you want to target only the metropolitans or metropolitans only in, say, southern India, or you want to go to all 53 metropolitans that we have in the country in one go, or you want to, say, start with only, say, the northern region or the western region and gradually expand to other parts. So which geography to go, which target group, TG, to go in terms of making that difference or appeal, and various, say, other, say, inherent strengths that you would like to evaluate in terms of the vertical linkages, backward and forward linkages. You would also try to get global learning. I mean, all those market, especially if you are launching a new product or new service which is not available in the market or was not there, you may would like to see what was happening for this product if it was launched, whenever it was launched, maybe in another geography, if it was. So learning from, say, other markets. And that is where you would like to segment your consumers, because even the target segment, target group, could have different smaller portions, and there could be different consumption occasions. And that's where the need scope or segmentation kind of research comes in. Likewise, you can have channels which could be business to business channel, the institutional sales. Like if you have, say, a new brand that you want to launch, which is, say, a fruit juice. Now you may try and tap the airline companies or railways or travel points or schools. So different institutional segments, which is B2B, and different business to consumer segment, where you will go and pick up a channel like a grocery or a chemist or a, say, ice cream shop and start selling from there. So various channels, which channel do you want to focus on? These are some of the initial part that you have to decide when you launch a new product or service, or when you want to expand it. So those different types will come under consumerization and targeting the right kind of opportunity. One would also need to do some research which is known as usage and attitude, UNA. And this is a very, say, popular research that is being done, where one would like to know as to what is the kind of usage pattern and what is the attitude. I remember a couple of years back, we did a study on packaged tea, chai. And you know, and we have participants from different parts of India. So the way tea is prepared from one part to another, from one household to another, from one individual to another, may be different. Now, what is the usage pattern? When do people consume tea? If you go to Jammu and Kashmir, you'll find that people use and add butter into, say, tea. If you go in some other part, you'll find that tea is more popular than coffee, while in other, coffee is the most preferred drink or hot beverages. In some areas which are milk deficient, what do people do? Instead of adding milk, or do people say try and say or prefer more of maybe green tea or black tea or maybe normal doodh wali masala chai. So usage and attitude and these things also keep on varying. And one thing we have learned during the last couple of quarters is it's a huge, say, disruption that the markets have undergone. And a lot of usage and attitude and perceptions we have seen, say, fundamental shifts. And one of the things on a lighter side, and at Nielsen, we have been releasing a lot of, say, media bulletins almost every month during COVID period. We were, say, bringing various facets of what are the change and the trends that are visible in the market, not only in India, but also learning from other markets. Because see, the advantage that we have at Nielsen is we've got operations in almost 100 odd countries, almost all big markets we do have presence. We can get a lot of learning from, say, our colleagues and say other markets, and we can make it more relevant, more usable, and bring insights which could be relevant for the Indian markets too. So usage and attitude is a very, very important part of consumerization, and not only when you want to start a new product or service, but in the different stages of your say journey also. That's largely on consumerization. Now coming to innovation, and I was talking about various stage gates of innovation. So you have a concept in mind, you want to test it. When you test your concept, the result will tell you that out of say 10 different factors of success, your concept is working very well on 3 of them. On another 3 of them, it is just passing the crossing line. While in the other 4, it is failing. It's not doing well. So what do? You start working on your concept and then retest and see whether those 4 factors where it was failing, whether they've started going towards the right direction or not. There's a possibility that 1 or 2 factors it will fail, but that could be a part of your design. You're not bothered about that success factor, but it will give you very good indication at the concept level. And then once you have got the product, the prototype, you start testing that. Some of you may have seen on the roads, automobiles company do a lot of say innovation research, and if you have been exposed to one of the, we call it car clinics or auto clinics, then what we do is we bring masked vehicles before they launch. So they are being brought, they kept in the place, and you would have seen on the roads that maybe a fleet of maybe 5 vehicles or 10 cars or whatever, commercial vehicles and so on and so forth, tractors, where it would be, say, being taken from whatever go down to maybe a testing site. It will be masked, either covered fully, or it will be painted in one color without any branding and all, because a lot of these concept and product tests are being done in a masked way, because a consumer or a respondent should not be influenced by the brand name, because here you're trying and testing features, you're testing efficacy, design, color, so on and so forth, right? So we do a lot of these things for various consumer products, automobiles, financial products, and so on and so forth. So that's where the factors of success become important at different life stages. And once you have done those testing, you have also chalked out a marketing plan, a sales strategy, a go-to-market strategy, which you say GTM. Then keeping that marketing and GTM strategies with the product that you have, you can run various models which can predict or estimate that this is the kind of revenue or sales or volume that it will generate, which is the simulated test marketing. So at Nielsen, we got a product which is one of the most renowned product in the world by the name of BASES, BASES. So BASES is a very strong model. And what we have seen, I mean, we have in India also, we have been using BASES for the last maybe 20, 25 years. And when we see that, yeah, for different products in this category or in this group or sector, if we have done, say, volumetric estimation for the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever, what has been the actual sale when the product or the service was launched. And we keep on, say, doing the normalization there. And the success rate is, the error rate is as low as maybe plus minus 10%, which is fairly, say, significant. Because imagine if one goes wrong at that stage and establishes a factory, maybe a paraphernalia, so many people. And I remember, and this is also one of the things which I personally feel and associate a lot of meaning of what we do as professionals. I remember one incident which one of our erstwhile ex-global CEO, Mitch Barnes, he actually started his career with bases in the US. So he was in India about 5-7 years back, and he was narrating a story where he said that he was a young researcher, maybe in the, say, late 70s or maybe early 80s. And when he was a good, say, researcher and bases champion, so he did a project. And normally, one thing which you would have noticed even till now, what I'm saying is, a lot of these decisions or marketing research, the insights, when it supports a decision, these decisions are supposed to be made at the highest office of any organization. So the CEOs, the CMOs, the proprietors, the promoters, they are personally involved because it's big money which is at stake. This example that Mitch was giving is where he said that maybe whatever early 80s when he was working on a project and he was working with one of the, say, marketing, say, leaders in a company. And he did a good project. It was widely appreciated. The client was very happy and all. And aayi gayi baat ho gayi. 4 or 5 years elapsed. And then maybe after some time, maybe 5 years, Mitch met the same marketing guy in one of the social events. And they were not in touch in between. So project went on well appreciated. Both the sides were happy. And then, yeah, everybody was busy in their own life. Now, 5 years down the line, they meet in a social event. And this guy recognizes Mitch. And he, stops by him. And he says, Mitch, you remember we did a project 5 years back? He said, yeah, why not? I mean, we were so happy. It was such a nice, not only from the revenue point of view that Nielsen would have made from that project, but it was very satisfying also. And then this guy said, but you know, Mitch, based on the recommendation that you all made, we went ahead and we established a factory. And there were 200 odd employees which were recruited. And with a lot of fanfare, the product was launched in the market. And it failed. It tanked miserably. To an extent that we had to shut the factory within a year. And all those 200 people who were recruited, they had to be laid off. Now, Mitch was so miserable on that day. He told us that for the next 2 days, he was in such a low state because the kind of meaning that each of these projects may have can have so far-reaching impact and implication, which we often don't realize. So that's the kind of significance that a research project can do, both on a positive side or a negative side. And there are various positive examples also. I just gave this because I personally felt this was very, very close to the kind of trust and accountability that is being entrusted on our shoulders when we do this kind of, say, projects. And fine, I mean, this was a project which had a much bigger implication. Even if your project is helping a small initiative, a brand manager can shine. CEOs of markets can get hefty bonuses, and so on and so forth. So that's the kind of meaning that we associate with any marketing research project. Moving on, marketing effectiveness, right? And I talked about the marketer's dilemma. If the 10 initiatives, 5 of them are working, 5 of them are not working, but which one is working, I don't know. That's where the marketing effectiveness will come and be handy, right? So various initiatives that you do in terms of communication or brand building, you would like to measure as to how are things building on in terms of brand health. And the peculiarity of at this stage is, if you are doing an initiative, if you have done a very good, say, a copy, a TV communication, right? Or maybe a digital communication or ad that you have created. Now, that ad, that specific ad may have a very good impact on your target group, right? But whether it reflects in terms of the behavior or the final outcome of sales or revenue or not, there could be a lag. Or at times it may not be associated at all. I may like an ad very much, but I would not go and buy that product for whatever reason. I may be very loyal to my existing brand or whatever reason that I have, but I may like that ad very much. So how do we associate this? Both in terms of whether your initiative on marketing is building on their brand image or on your brand image, yes or no, to what extent, and how is it reflecting, right? So there will be various brand track studies and all, which will be horizontal studies. Horizontal research is where the same tool, research tool, is being taken to the target respondent or audience at different points in time, maybe every 3 months, every month, depending on what kind of product that you have or service that you are working on, right? So brand health studies would be a part of marketing effectiveness. When it comes to communication, there's a very famous framework which is known as a 3R framework, and you will relate it very well. So what are the 3 R's? The first R is reach. Second R is resonate. The third R is reaction. Reach, resonance, and reaction. So suppose you have come up with a, say, a TV commercial, a TV ad, right? Or maybe say a radio ad, or maybe a hoarding, outdoor hoarding, right? So you would like to know that, or before making that communication or that ad, as a marketing head, you would have thought that, yeah, this ad should reach to this kind of people who are my target group, my target segment, and they should feel good about it. And they should start buying my product or indulging with my service, right? That's what the intention would be. So let's see. So the first R here is reach. You would like to know that whatever I have done or whatever channels that I have, say, I have started riding on in terms of this ad, is it reaching my target segment or not? And if yes, to what extent? So very important, you have to reach the target segment. If you're not reaching, then you have to start realignment. You'll go back to your ad agency and say that, see, something is not working. Because I wanted to go to, maybe if there are 100, say, people in my target segment, I would like to go and say reach at least, say, 50 of them in the next 3 months. 3 months down the line, when I check on the reach platform, I find that only 10 to 15 of my every 100 target respondent is aware of this ad campaign, which means that my reach is suboptimal. So reach is very important, whether I'm reaching to the right target segment. There's a possibility that my ad is reaching to a lot of people, but they're not my target segment. How does it matter? I'm wasting my money there. I may have made a lot of, may have made a very good ad, spent a lot of money, but it is not reaching to my target segment. It is not giving me the ROI. It's waste. So reach is very, very important. The second one is, suppose it has started reaching to the right target group. Is it resonating? Are people, are the subject resonating with this ad? Are they able to feel good about it? Getting a new information, which is the intention of this communication. So resonate. Here at this stage, you will find that you have invested a lot of money in this ad, but people are not liking it. They're not resonating with it. So it's not resonating. So that is second R, reach and then resonate. The third one is, even if it is reaching and resonating, is it reflecting in reaction, which is the desired behavior, whether people are going and buying your product, indulging in your service, and so on and so forth or not. So the reach, resonance, and reaction, each of these are very important. And for each of these 3 R's, there are very, very specific tools on research side, which can give you precious insights at a given point in time. And also you can keep on measuring, because once you know what is happening, you will go back if need be and work on your design again, on the entire plan that you have. And then you go and launch. Let me bring another example, and a lot of and maybe we can cover that in the last section today, where we talk about the new things that are happening in marketing research. And of late, last maybe 10 years or so, there's one stream which is has become very popular, is use of neurosciences, right? So instead of asking a question or observing a behavior, what we do is we use neurosciences here. So the way it works is, for any stimulus, and there are various stimuli which is being exposed to any individual, right? So when a stimulus is being exposed to a subject, how does the brainwave react, right? So what we do is, the pretty sophisticated research and neuroscientists are involved in it. So where we would see that different types of stimulus, which could be a word where one would like to associate with a brand or a product, color scheme, logo, jingle, different combination of words, different places where it is placed. When stimulus is being exposed, how is the brain reacting? And we study the brain waves, and we utilize this. In making necessary changes. So a lot of usage in communication, in the ad world. A lot of work of neurosciences is being used in developing right logos, right packaging, right kind of channel strategy, and so on and so forth. So I was talking about the 3 R's and how marketing effectiveness can bring a lot of say value to it. Now the last one you can see is the marketing mix models, MMM, right? And that's the crux of it, the crux of marketing effectiveness. What it does is, the model will get various independent variables, and independent variables could be a radio ad, a below the line say investment, and a below the line investment could be maybe going and giving say an extra promotion to the trade, maybe a wholesaler or a retailer, or putting a dangler in the shop, or putting a hoarding, outdoor hoarding. Various marketing initiatives and maybe even sales initiatives are all independent variables. The model will get everything, and not only for that brand or the product, but also for the competitive brand. It's a relative market. The consumer is going to be impacted or behave in a specific way, not only because what a specific brand does, but also in the relative space what is being done in the industry. So the marketing mix model will get all these independent variables, ad spends, TRP ratings. It will get competitive say spends, BTL, what are the various initiatives, even to an extent that different ads for the same brand may have different impact. And you may say that at any given point in time, also a product may have 2 different types of TV ads, or even the same TV campaign at different day points, morning hours to evening hours, along with news genre to maybe a entertainment genre, can have different impacts. The marketing mix model takes all these independent variables and links it with the dependent variable, which is the final total sales, market share, brand image, XYZ, and try and establish that linkage and tease out that these are the initiatives which are working and these are the initiatives where you need to work further on. So like I told, even one TV ad between an entertainment and a news genre can have different impact. So how do you want to spend on media? Whether you want to spend more on, say, entertainment genre or child genre or family drama or news will be decided. Whether you want to spend more on digital medium or outdoor hoardings or print. Marketing mix model will give you all those things. And even to an extent of sophistication where it can tell you that you should cut this one down by 20%, you should add this one by 15%, and so on and so forth. Fairly sophisticated models and very, very widely used by the entire industry. I'll again pause. Any questions or anything which was not clear till now? I know there's a lot of, say, information I'm bombarding on you, but even if you feel that everything is not going and sinking in, that's okay. I mean, that's quite natural. But whatever you feel that is not clear or I need to elaborate more, and like I said in the beginning, each one of these topics, when we take sessions, they will go for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours each of these lines that you see here. So either I'm making a lot of sense or you guys are being very overwhelmed. I need some.
You're making a perfect sense, Samir ji. Just I am waiting for that some of other, if a host is asking everything, then I wish to give a chance to all of that very effective academician from worldwide. So I am very happy to see the entire single slide, and it is a big message to all of us. Just keep it short and simple, and you make it keep it short and simple. If I use the word KISS. Fantastic, Samirji. Even I share some of my friends also. Those are the woman entrepreneur, and some of joined from Bangalore. Renuka ji is here, and some of others are here. They just started their online ventures, which is very effective, and they will get the benefit from this session. Truly.
Thank you so much.
Continue.
Okay, any other observation before I go to sales effectiveness? And like I said, sales effectiveness is something which we'll be spending more time on in the subsequent section. So that anyway, I'm keeping apart. But anything on the consumerization, innovation, and marketing effectiveness, because we will not be dealing too much on these 3, say, life stages in the subsequent sections. So anything that you want to share or ask about these 3, not that later on you can't, but at this juncture, if you want to share anything or any reactions.
So the points are clear.
Very good. Thank you. So then we'll move to the sales effectiveness. And while you can see some of the, say, pointers there in terms of sales effectiveness will be used to make targets. Like the example I was giving, if you had done, say, 100 units in 2020, you can target that next year I'll do 110. Now, how do you make the target? You would need various sales effectiveness indicators and insights from the research side, which will help you making those benchmarks and targets, right? Very, very important to have relative performance. And again, the example that I gave you is you did 111 instead of 110, but soon you realize that, yeah, but my 111 was way lower than others who did 120. So relative performance, and that's where the sales effectiveness comes in, because otherwise my own performance, I know. If I've done 110 or 109 or 115, I know about myself. But it will become relevant only when you see your performance in relative terms vis-a-vis industry and competition. So that's where it is. Sales effectiveness, of course, is the crucial juncture where you would like to make various optimization initiatives. You would like to tweak or change or launch or go into more details about a specific format, maybe a pack size, price point. Let me give an example. We all use mosquito repellents, right? So, and there are various formats. There are coils, there are liquid vaporizers, there are, say, creams, and so on and so forth, right? Different formats. Now, where do you want to play? And how efficiently are you doing in a specific format against another? Now, if you are, say, in the, say, liquid vaporizer, say, segment, you're very strong, you're doing well. Are you doing it in a specific pack size? Are you doing it in a pack where you have got the machine and the refill together? Or you're doing okay in that combo, but not so well in the only refill part, or vice versa? These are some of the things that you need to. And the beauty here is, any business is not a business at a 30,000 feet level. You have to go to the micro market. You have to go to the specifics of the pack sizes, price points, whether you are going with a shampoo sachet, which is 2 rupee, or a bottle which is, say, 500 ml. By the way, shampoo in India, the industry, close to 75% is still in sachets. Now, most of us who are, say, urban dwellers, we may have roots in the rural areas or smaller towns, but now most of us are, say, staying in metropolitans and bigger cities, or the socioeconomic profile that we all, say, come from. Generally, it comes as a surprise. Now, if you're launching, say, a shampoo brand, and if you are not going into the low unit packs, the sachets, you're not playing in that 80%, 75% of the market. Now, how do you know that? The sales effectiveness insights will give you that kind of indication, which will make your product and offering strong, and you can win in the market. Now, what's the kind of reach? Are you reaching to the desired number of retail outlets? What is the distribution strength? Are you strong in only chemists, or you are equally strong in the pawn shops too? If you're selling, say, confectionery, maybe lollipops or maybe candies and so on and so forth. So whether are you strong enough in the pawn shops? If you're not, then you're missing a significant chunk. If you are a, say, carbonated beverages company, are you strong enough in the eating and drinking joints? If not, you're missing a significant chunk. Tomorrow, if a new brand wants to launch in India, which is in the carbonated drink space, and if they're not knowing as to what is the strength of, say, eating and drinking outlets, or whether people consume at home or they consume on the go, whether people prefer cans or they prefer the returnable glass bottles or the PET bottles. Now, sales effectiveness will bring all these aspects at a micro level, where you can not only evaluate your performance in the relative terms, but also you can go and make right kind of initiatives targeting opportunity. So you identify an opportunity, you size that opportunity, you make plans and win and evaluate. Fine, I went through these phases, whether I made that mark or not. If I didn't, then there was something wrong. And to come back to the drawing board and start working again, or, say, refining that. So sales effectiveness will be helping in all these aspects. Assortment. Now, do I need to have only shampoo sachets, or do I need to have a 100 ml bottle also and a 500 ml bottle also? Or in a specific channel, say e-commerce, I'll promote only, say, 500 ml bottles. I will not sell sachets, because e-commerce buyers will not go for sachets. So you can design your strategies and initiatives and tactical, say, nature. Temporary price reduction. On a big day or a big week, what do you want to do in a modern format store? In terms of assortment, in terms of maybe bundling, in terms of promotions, all these aspects can be at a very, very micro and sophisticated level, can be answered by sales effectiveness. So opportunity spotting, sizing, and building on it. That's where the sales effectiveness comes into picture. And this is not at an overall market level. It's not at an India level. You can build it and compare whether this sales initiative in terms of assortment, in terms of trade margins, consumer promos, price points, and so on and so forth, is it working well in Bangalore vis-a-vis, say, Ghaziabad, or in Kolkata versus Ranchi? So you can have a very clear measurement. You can also see whether it is working very well in Big Bazaar, in Mumbai, or say a Reliance retail in, say, Bhopal. So that's the kind of sophistication, and there are measures which are available, and that's where we'll spend more time in the subsequent section. So I'll pause again on this chart, and I think we're doing fine on time. So any question on this part? No, actually we're not doing fine on time. We're slightly late. So I went a bit slow on this one. Any question on this slide? And as I promised, this was the only slide on marketing research at different life stages. So anything to add or ask from your side? Okay, so if not, should we take a 5-minute break? Or you want a slightly longer break?
Yes, we can take a 5-minute break. Yeah.
So now
Till then we all can think on it.
Yeah,
that
perfect.
we started to ask questions and added our values.
Surely.
Right. So nice of you.
Thank you. So it is 11:27 right now. So should we 11:28 actually? So should we come back at 11:35?
Yeah, with cup of tea.
Thank you.
Self-made cup of tea. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So let's go for this quick break.
Yeah. So every learner and academician, be ready to shower your views and your questions and share with the Samir Shukla ji. Make it an interactive session. It's my humble request to all of you.